Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unmuted Love. I'm C. Eshelman. I'm your host, and today I'm bringing to you Layne Burkette. She's a somatic therapist, and she's the founder of Life Balance. She has a lovely, lovely, lovely somatic practice, and she has online courses. So you want to be sure to check the show notes here and check her out online. She does all of these beautiful things while raising 4 children. She does it. She probably needs this kind of somatic practice in order to survive 4 children. I'm just saying, but maybe that's just me projecting. She's amazing. And I'm here for the third podcast. This is the third time Layne is here to talk with you about regulation. Only this time we're talking about kids. And last time we talked about parents. So hang on, parents. This is your chance to learn how to be part of a beautiful process with your children. Welcome, Layne. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited. I think I'm most excited about this one because this is like the real application, I think, where parents will start to be able to do it a little bit more with their kids. So I'm super excited about this.
Yeah. So we're going to make this really practical because we've talked a lot about what the point of it all is: regulation, and nervous system repair, right? And resetting and rewiring, really, especially if we come from difficult beginnings. So there's a lot to it, and we've talked about that. So we're going to get right down to, hey, let's practice.
Absolutely. So what's fun about kids is that they don't really have the filter that adults have, right? So what's neat about that is that if you've listened to some of the other podcasts, the one right before this, for example, we were doing some movements, some words and phrases to ourselves, and some of the movements may have felt a little bit different to you. Whereas when we do these with kids, they're like a sponge. They're just happy to do them. It is completely normal. There's no filter there of saying like, oh, who's watching me or what's happening. That's what makes this type of approach with kids really just transformational again, because they're open to it. And there's no like hesitation. They want to do it. And the younger you start, the better. As you start to move into the teen years, there is a little bit of that filter that starts to develop. That being said, you can introduce these practices at any point. And the key with these practices are us modeling them as the parent. And so when we're modeling them, they're seeing it, they're feeling it. Again, they're feeling our nervous systems more than we're communicating through words. And so when they feel that and we're regulating and co-regulation is occurring, they're sensing it. They're feeling it. So that's a beautiful piece about working with kids that I absolutely love. So this episode, yes, we'll focus more on practical co-regulation, what it might look like in kids, and then real life parenting moments and how to connect before we're correcting, and really how to help kids feel safe in their bodies. There's plenty of things that a bunch of you are doing right. And so I want to make sure that we're emphasizing that too, that these are just additional things that you can notice, you can key into, and that awareness really can help. So yeah,
Great. Well, what's the first thing? Let's get going.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with something simple. Thinking about connecting with your kids and experiencing it with them. In previous episodes that have been more focused on you as the parent doing these on your own. And of course, I love letting kids watch you, but to do them with your kids is so valuable. So everything that we did in previous podcasts, absolutely do with your children or let them watch you doing it. That being said, I love to teach ones that are appropriate for children. So something as simple as holding up your finger and taking a nice deep breath in of a beautiful smelling flower. Picture that flower, and then now exhale. I want you to picture your birthday candle and slowly blow it out. And we'll do that again. Breathe in a beautiful smelling flower. Picture the color. Notice how it smells. Maybe notice your surroundings. And then exhale, slowly blow out that birthday candle. You want your birthday to last as long as possible. Do that again. Nice deep breath in. Smell that flower and then exhale, slowly blow it out. Good. And now push your feet into the floor. And then we're just going to gently squeeze our hands together. Squeezing, pushing your feet down. You notice your body tightens up. Now take a deep breath as you do that. And now we're going to exhale. We're just going to soften and relax the whole body. Good. And now gently bring your hand to your heart. And notice how that feels. Good. And now gently say to yourself, I'm here. Sounds very simple, and that's exactly what it's designed to sound like. I'm here. And just breathe that in. You're here. You can feel your feet on the ground. You feel your body. Feel yourself connecting with your body. Good. And then gently release your hand and open your eyes. But this time I want you to look, and I want you to look to the four corners of the room around you. So look up into the upper corner, and then now look over into the other upper corner. Look down to the other corner, and then look to the last corner. Good. And now bring your eyesight back, and I want you to just look around your space and find something that brings you joy or that you like to look at in your space. And then once you find that, just take a nice deep breath in and a slow breath out. And just notice how that feels to you. It's gentle, it's peaceful. Good. And then when you're ready, just blink your eyes and then reorient. Good. How'd that feel?
It was good. It was a little more active, so it felt different than the ones we did earlier in the parenting podcast. That those
Mm-hmm.
felt very calming, I think, and peaceful inside. This didn't feel the same way to me.
Yeah.
It was sort of external, felt
Mm-hmm.
external. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that a key with this is that when you're introducing it to kids, it's like you can tell my tone is a little bit different. So it's a little bit more playful. It's a little bit more inviting, whereas I can drop in like help with the parents, just kind of soothe them into it. Whereas kids, like you want to meet them where they're at and they may not be in that same space. And activation for kids does look different than adults. So that's something to key into as well, which we'll talk about. But that's important. So I love that. I love that you notice the difference. That shows too that it's a different approach.
Yeah. And actually, now that you're saying that, probably the fact that it's external is a lot less threatening for children
Mm-hmm.
who are a little bit skeptical of following
Yeah.
somebody's lead. Our kids are often that way. So for it to be a more external, actually probably is a little bit safer at the start.
Yeah. And what it does is it invites in calm for everyone in the picture because I often like to say my calm is their calm. If I'm inviting them into this like deep dive with me, like we did at the end of the last podcast, they may not be open to that. Like you said, they may not feel safe to go there with us and it's a little long for them. And it is age dependent. So you might have a very open 10-year-old. My 10-year-old, bless her heart, she'll just dive right into a deep meditation with me. She'll do it. My 8-year-old, not so much yet. I need to do a little bit more of some playful and meet him where he's at. And so you know your children best. And that's the piece too, that once you start doing these practices, you're going to key in and notice, oh, they need this, or oh, they might need this. And so that's really important too. I think it's important to recognize what that dysregulation or that activation looks like in your kid too, because at different ages, it's going to look different. And I believe that behavior is that body based. And so the overwhelm might look like an external, like a yelling. It might look like shutting down. Like we have kids that really freeze and they shut down. Similar to us, that trauma response. We might be fighting, we might be fleeing that flight, or we might be freezing. So if you have a kid that just kind of shuts down, is a little less responsive, that's a behavior. That's something where they're indicating something. Defiance or aggression, those are behaviors that are giving you a message of, I might be in overwhelm. I might be experiencing some trauma, or I might be experiencing a nervous system that is not in a safe space. And they're giving us those. The other piece is control. So really trying to control transitions, trying to control language in a home, trying to control the schedule, thinking about some of those things that might come up. And the other piece is clinginess. So this is one where some parents really respond strongly to. They get frustrated or annoyed with their child's clinginess. That's a messaging. And they might be in an experience where their nervous system is activated or dysregulated. They're trying to find safety. Like you said, that external sense of safety, they're just trying to find safety so that someone else is providing that. Like we said in last episode, our nervous system is really setting their capacity for the first 7 to 8 years of their life.
Which is really longer than I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
Because I think, when they start being school age, I think we start thinking that they're ready to be on their own, but they're really not. They need more input about how to regulate themselves longer. Yeah.
And they need the safety before the strategy. They need to feel safe before they need strategies and before they need tips. And sometimes they go off to school and they're learning beautiful strategies of how to stay calm and how to focus and, how to pay attention and things like that. But if they don't feel safe, picturing a simple situation where they might be getting teased, they might be getting bullied, it seems simple, but realistically, they are not feeling safe in that situation. So how are we expecting them to focus and to pay attention and to do all those things in the classroom?
because they're offline.
Yeah.
If you're offline in survival brain, you can't learn. It's not even a
Right.
matter of anything else. You just can't.
Exactly. And I think that that's the piece where when we're calm and we're having our regulated nervous system, we're really showing them that. We're using a good tone, we're using words that are calm, we're demonstrating that really regularly. They're feeling that. Our body posture, it's open. We're not in that experience where we're coming across as aggressive or intense or stressed. Just think about your own body posture, even like simply going, hand in head, head in hands and like leaning forward because you're stressed. Our kids are sensing, oh, there's something bothering. And really up until again, age 7 to 8, they think it's them. They think it's them. Whereas it might just be, I'm having a rough day. So something as simple as like what we're paying attention to, our pace. Our pace is another big one. Like we talked about rushing, our pace of how we're approaching these is a big deal too. And so that's that regulation that's occurring in that moment as well.
So important to just sort of think of the environments. There's the body environment, there's the external home environment, room environment, and then there's the environment of time, what came before, what might be coming in the future, right? It's a space time
Yes.
continuum,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's all these things happening at the same time. No one moment is just a moment right here, right now.
Right, right. And there's so many different layers to it, like you're saying. And I think that just us providing that, like, let's think of a couple of simple examples and then we'll do a couple more demonstrations. So in the last episode, we talked about giving your child a hug, but really softening into the hug. Think about putting your arm around your child and sitting beside them instead of, like looking directly at them, joining beside them, putting your arm and like softening into that. You taking a big deep breath. And like softening into that connection, gently giving them like a gentle squeeze of some sort, just to show them I'm here, I'm right here. And then even saying that to them, I'm here with you. It sounds simple, but there we breathed, we connected with them, we moved with them, and then we said something healing. I'm here with you. And that just communicates so much. I'm here in this moment with you. I'm here energetically, emotionally with you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm a safe person. So then their nervous system feels it.
I said this before, but I'll just reiterate it. Children are predicting based on their history, right? So they have a history of something and brains predict. And so if it happened before, it'll happen again.
Yeah.
Let's say they came from a chaotic environment and they're coming home to us and it's largely a calm environment perhaps, but we reach out to put our arm around them and that history comes into their body quickly. And they're like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is safe. And then they pull away and then we pull away. Right. So we have a reaction to that, like, oh, instead of leaning in and saying you're safe and saying something sweet, our body just also has a protection reaction sometimes, not always, but often. And so then those patterns can repeat as though we're in an unsafe environment, but we aren't. Right. So
That's beautiful. And the generational piece of that continuing, even though we're not intending it to. But I love this about all of your programming, you get to break it. You get to break that cycle. And the work that you're doing, the work that I'm doing, like that's our role is to be able to say, like, we get to change that. We get to choose. And I love to encourage parents and empower parents to say just that. Like, I get to choose. I choose how this moment goes. And there's something that's so empowering about that I'm choosing to break this cycle. I'm choosing to change. Think of Dancing with the Child, for example. Like, I'm usually like leading as they're learning, but if I change one step, throws off the dance just temporarily, but then we find our rhythm again. And if I do it again, so there's this simple dance between relationships and with people. And a majority of the time, just one small move can really change the entire dance. Takes a little wobble moment. So there is discomfort that comes with these types of practices. I'm transparent about that because it's that initial learning and growth period with any new modality. But then you find that rhythm and it's like, okay, now we're in a good space.
I love that idea that it's uncomfortable at first to make new moves, right? So that arm around the shoulder of a child who's used to predicting bad things, we can do this differently and lean in and be like, it's okay, I'm safe. I won't hurt you. And that's a different message, right? That's just a little simple shift from where they came from and that is still living on their body. They may have been with you for 5 years and it's still happening. So we can react to it and just keep it going, or we can lean in and change it with just a simple 1% change just by leaning in versus pulling back. You just have to have that awareness, though. And awareness is what's so hard in this busy life. Keeping awareness, keeping mindfulness, it's so hard. And that's what I think this has a lot to do with as well, is realizing that it's in the moment, it's in the little moments of regulation, of calm, of love, right? That connection that
Yeah.
brings about these changes. It's not in how many sports you played and how many trophies you won and all that, or how many places you managed to get to on vacation. It's not actually about that. It's about these
Right.
little moments of connection, little moments of healing, little moments of safety.
Yes, it is these little moments, and it doesn't have to be these grand gestures, and it doesn't have to be an hour of doing these practices with your children or reading a specific book that is really empowering. It can be within these connections. And I love what you said. The connection creates the conditions for regulation. And your calm presence as the parent is the intervention. So I know there's always these fancy interventions, and we want to do this, and we're given this new tool and things, but ultimately, your calm presence, you being present in the moment and noticing and not rushing to that next thing or not being pulled and distracted, that's the intervention. And it's so powerful when exactly all the reasons that you said, that's why it's powerful.
So here we are talking about parents again. Let's go back to kids.
Yeah. Okay. So kids, yes, good. So let's like think of bedtime. Bedtime's a big one where parents are tired, they're overstimulated, they're having such a hard time, right? When kids are, what are they wanting in that moment? They want connection, they want co-regulation, they need sometimes words or connection or physical touch to help them to soothe. Because again, some of the people that we're working with didn't have that. They weren't soothed and connected with at bedtime. Picturing laying down beside your child, lay down beside your child, and each of you take a stuffy, their favorite stuffy, and put it on their belly. And you're laying down, and then you just take a nice deep breath in. Take that breath all the way down into your belly, and then slowly exhale. And so as you take that deep breath in, you'll notice your stuffy just rises up just a little bit. And then as you exhale, it gently goes down as if your stuffy was riding a little ocean wave. You're just breathing and letting that happen. And down. And then I would encourage kids to do that 5, 10, 15 times. If their parents right there beside them doing it with them, it can be even longer, whatever calls to both of you. But it's soothing for both of you. Again, parent is calm, child is calm. And then I love to do a nice progressive muscle relaxation where we're tensing everything and then we're relaxing it and make it fun for kids. Like we're squeezing lemons, we're pushing our feet into mud, we're tightening so an elephant doesn't step on us. I make it fun and enjoyable for them with imagery that is helpful because, again, with adults, yes, we're squeezing and releasing. It's the same practice, but it's just that invitation to make it a little bit more whimsical, a little bit more fun, meeting the kids where they're at. Then we release all that tension. And then we might bring hands over to shoulders or hands to heart and maybe do a little butterfly tapping, just to like settle them in. I might invite them to think of what they're grateful for. Name out loud. What are you thankful for today? I'll go first. I'm going to model. I'm thankful for da 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 da. What are you thankful for? Now breathe it in and notice how that feels in your body when you say how thankful you are and how grateful you are for that person or that place or that thing. So they're embodying gratitude. So I take regular somatics and I want to take them a step further into really embodying them because that's where it's really going to feel a connection and that's lasting change. That's where we're permanently changing what's happening for us. And then I love to do with kids at nighttime, I sometimes will tap on them. Sometimes I gently rub on the vagus nerve. I just rub gently right there and then I like squeeze across and I give them a little facial massage. If they're open to it, always asking consent first, of course, teaching them consent. We did facial sweeps in the last one for adults. I might do facial sweeps or full body sweeps. Again, if they're open to that. Gentle massage, joint compression. There's lots of different things depending on what they like, which I've explored with them. We've tried, we've talked about, does this feel good? Okay, does this not? Does that feel relaxing to you? Just incorporating little different things that they find soothing and that they find calming. And then you kind of create a little bit of a routine for each child. I have 4 kids. They're all different. And I don't have to memorize anything. There's no like overthinking that I'm doing with this because I love to overthink, but I don't want to do it at bedtime. So instead, I just invite them. What would feel good to you tonight? Maybe it's just laying beside them and I, with my hand on my chest or on their chest or their hand on my chest, or our hands on our own chest and just repeating kind things, saying affirmations. I'm safe. I'm ready for rest. I am worthy of a good night's sleep. I can rest calmly tonight. And if we're getting into safety issues and more of that concern, I am safe to rest. Because so many kids feel maybe they suffer from nightmares or they do have flashbacks or they have trauma in their childhood and that's coming up. It's in their body. And so not only do we need to say those things, but we need to help move that energy and we need to breathe and help them to feel calm and connected and safe prior to drifting off to sleep. So those are some of the things that I love to do at nighttime. And again, I just ask my kids, what are you interested in tonight? What would be helpful for you tonight? After they practice these things, they'll ask. And not a lot of kids are shy about saying their preferences, right? And so, and then especially at night, then it takes the guesswork out of it for me. If you're using products for me, you just, okay, sure, we're going to do this. We're going to identify our feelings. We're going to move our feelings. We're going to do a guided bedtime. I get a lot of feedback from people that that's what they enjoy is just being led, being guided, because not everyone's an expert at this. I have numerous degrees in this. I practice it regularly. I've been doing it for 20 years. Not everyone is, and you don't have to be an expert, but you can push play and you can experience that with your children. They can feel the benefits and then they'll tell you their preference. And if they do want that physical touch, they'll tell you. And every day is different.
I love that. And you know what I'm tuning into here is how we can create a mindset for our kids about bedtime. It's not about reading, so we read books at bedtime. It's not about
Yeah.
reading, but we can make it about reading. We can make it seem like it's a lesson. Well, you can sound it out. What's that word? I'm just like, this is probably not the best time to teach reading, at bedtime. So instead, like creating this, how do we go to sleep in the most beautiful way possible? So we have the best dreams and we have the best, night's sleep and we wake up rested. And just and having that be the focus of going to sleep, which I know that sounds a little nutty, but that was not the way it was in my house. I mean, it was sort of like a lot of like running around and avoiding going to bed and avoiding the book and avoiding sitting on the bed together. And it was just a lot of avoidance, it felt like. And so at a certain point, I was just like, okay, no book tonight, no, nothing, just go get in bed.
Right.
That's it.
I
Right?
know.
And so
Yeah.
that is not a very inviting way to go to bed. And it was because I didn't actually create a soothing atmosphere or mindset for what sleep is, and how delicious it is and communicate that to them. It was just get in bed so I could go to
So
sleep.
I can go to sleep. I can do my thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and we're tired. I mean,
Yeah.
giving credit to all the parents out there that are managing either multiple children, multiple jobs, multiple activities. Sometimes you're go, go, go from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. That resonates and I understand that. And I think that attending to our own nervous systems and saying, this is a gift to them, but it's a gift to me. Like, I don't have to put pressure on myself at bedtime. I literally just lay with my kids in their bed and I just say, what are you in the mood to do tonight? What would be helpful for you tonight? Sometimes it's just talking for a few minutes. Sometimes they say, I'm exhausted. I just need to go to sleep. Sounds great. Okay. Like just connecting like a couple of kind words, whatever that might be. I'm going to meet them right where they're at. And then I'm going to let us all sleep peacefully. But you're right. I just did a summit for someone and it was the life skill of falling asleep because it literally is a life skill that some people don't have. And bedtimes aren't always pleasant for people and they might have wounding around it. And so being able to welcome that in and just acknowledge that that's the truth. And then you create it for both of you. You get to create that. And then you go to bed, like when you then leave and you go to bed, like you're calm. There's no guilt. There's no shame about that interaction. There's no anxiety. There's no putting your head on your pillow saying, I wish that would have gone differently. That was bad. That regret, that like, oh, that's such a horrible feeling, right?
Yeah. It's
And we've all been there.
Oh, yeah. And then your own sleep is disrupted, right? Your own nervous system is activated and it takes a while to come down from that, so now you're delayed in your process. So yeah, it's all part of the same cultural problem, I think, in a way, like we're just rushing to get to the next thing, including sleep.
Yes. There's some practical applications for this type of work. That was a bedtime one where I always try to keep it less than 5 minutes again because they do need to get to sleep. But there's other practical applications for these skills, some of like the breath, for example, or identifying feelings like we did in the last episode where am I learning to identify my feeling and where it might be within my body? So I have numerous audios where identifying feelings for kids, it may not be a comfortable experience or they might not know how. A lot of kids don't have the language to say, oh, I'm noticing anxiety and it's in my chest. Who's teaching them that? And some parents, no fault of anyone's, they may not have the linguistics or the ability to teach that. That's okay. But again, it's just having the language and having the familiarity and knowing that when I create safety in these little moments throughout the day with my children of learning to name feelings, learning how to move feelings, identify them, learning where they might be in my body, and then soothing that part of my body, that creates language and it gives us more awareness, which creates safety. Again, for people listening, safety creates that connection. And so those things go hand in hand.
Yeah, it's all so interconnected, right? It's all very interconnected and it's all simple. Parents often ask me for more tools,
Yeah.
See, we need more tools. And I'm like, tools. Wow. do they mean? And I always come back to, well, tools don't work if you don't have this tool of paying attention to yourself and paying attention to your child's regulation together. That is the quintessential tool, right?
Yep.
It's just a
That's
life
the intervention.
it's a life skill.
And they go hand in hand. So, talking about doing this with parents, doing this on your own, having your own practice, again, anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes a day. Think of that investment and then doing it with your kids. And the beauty of it can be one and the same. You could do it 5 minutes. I have some cute ones, and I have a family nervous system regulation kit, but I have a morning one, I have a midday one, I have an evening one. It's less than 5 minutes. The parents and the kids do it together. And again, it's just creating that safety. And I love to do any of this stuff. I'm thinking about working with the clients that I work with. I encourage them around transitions. A lot of kids have problems transitioning, neurodivergence, especially like transitioning from home to school, school to home, activities, bedtime, that after school, they're hangry and they've got some homework and they just need to decompress. That's a big transition that a lot of times just needs some simple nervous system calm. And then the rest of the night will go better. Thinking about overstimulation, think how many times our kids are literally overstimulated, or they're hungry, or they don't have enough sleep, and yet we're pushing them, let's go to the next activity. Oh, we've got another birthday party. Like, we're pushing them to do these things, which are fun. Once they get there, great. They are overstimulated.
Yeah.
And then we feed them sugar. you know
A lot of
so
it.
a lot of it, yes, which is great, but we want to monitor that. So through these practices, we're teaching children and ourselves predictability, like we talked about, safety and consistency. We're teaching a rhythm. Like you said, we're slowing everything down. So we're slowing down those transitions. My mornings don't feel rushed. They do not feel rushed. There's plenty of mornings where we're late. I don't feel rushed inside, and that's taken years of practice. And again, I have 4 kids, so like life has given me many practices and many opportunities to practice these things, but there is a difference. So I have lots of examples, like how to do this in the car, again, how to do it at bedtime, the transitions, the mornings, utilizing music, utilizing movement, and our calm affects their calm. So yeah.
Sure. Do you have one more you want to share? One of your favorites you want to share?
Ooh, I have lots of favorites, so it is hard for me. And I work with so many different ages. I'll work with 2-year-olds up to teenagers. So feel your feet on the ground and just soften your eyes for a moment. And take a nice deep breath in through your nose and float your breath down into your heart space. And I want you to picture your favorite color there. And just slowly exhale your breath. Relax your shoulders, relax your palms, relax your face. Now breathe in again. Breathe in and picture that favorite color right in your heart. And as you breathe, I want you to picture that color getting brighter, as if it was fanning. Your breath is fanning it and it's getting brighter. And then exhale, slowly release. Now, this inhale, we're going to take that color and you're going to flow it through your entire body. So picture that favorite color flowing through your entire body, down your belly, down into your legs, through your arms. And now this time, exhale, open your mouth and let that color come out. Good. Let's breathe in again. Breathe in. You feel that color just floating throughout your entire body. And then slowly exhale again. Breathe out that color. Notice how it's filling all the space in the air around you. Now I want you to picture that color is a feeling. So what feeling do you want more of inside of your body? And just take a moment to notice. Maybe you want peace. Maybe you want happiness, excitement, ease, joy, whatever it might be. Let's breathe it in now and picture that feeling coming in with the color floating throughout your entire body. And I want you to notice how it flows throughout your body. Good. And now as you exhale, just slowly release that color and notice how it feels in your body. That feeling is now inside of you. And take your hands to the tops of your legs and just gently tap left to right. And as you tap, just feel into that. Breathe in. Feel that feeling inside of you. And now picture what it's like to feel that. Picture going through your day feeling that way. If I'm wanting to feel more happy, I'm going to picture myself doing things I like that make me smile, that bring joy to me. If I want to feel more at peace, I'm breathing that in and I'm gently allowing myself to do things that bring peace to me. I'm going to picture myself doing that. Maybe it's reading, maybe it's relaxing, maybe it's going for a peaceful walk with someone I care about. So now take that and breathe it in again. And give a nice audible exhale. Good. And then we're just going to stop that tapping and we're just going to shake out our hands, shake out our arms. Good. Shake out our shoulders, gently move the head. Good. And then take the hands, rub them together. And I'm going to gently cover my eyes with my hands. Take a nice deep breath in and feel the connection of your hands to your eyes. And slowly exhale. And then gently, just peacefully say to yourself, I feel, and then say that feeling that you were inviting in. We're just releasing any other feelings or inviting in that feeling that you desire. And we're holding it deep within ourselves, shutting out any other stimulus, just being with ourselves. Breathe in and say, I feel. And then long exhale, welcoming in that feeling, feeling the calm and the connection. And then slowly release the hands. And then just offer yourself a gentle hug. Bring your hands either to your shoulders or wrap them around you. And just let yourself sway left to right. Just giving yourself a moment to connect. Offering yourself nurturing. Offering yourself love. Good. And then slow down that swaying and bring the hands to the heart. Take a nice deep breath in and slowly out. And then gently offer to yourself, I am loved. And really feel that love. Feel that within yourself. Offer it to yourself. Feel it coming to you as well. Breathe in one more deep breath of your beautiful color. And a big exhale, letting all the color around you fill up the space around you. This is your favorite color, your favorite feeling, and feeling loved all at the same time. And then slowly release the hands and then gently open your eyes. How'd that feel for you?
Pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. My whole room is yellow. Yellow.
Ooh, I
Joyful,
love that.
joyful yellow.
Yeah. Ooh, good. Mine's orange today.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I love to get into all the chakras, have all the colors and everything, but we won't get into that today, but it's kind of fun. So like what yellow means and things
Yeah.
like that.
That's my power.
So,
That's my power chakra, right? Yellow.
yeah. Yep. It's your identity center, your willpower. Beautiful. Yeah, so that's just kind of a fun one. Again, it's just connecting with you. It's just connecting with yourself. And again, letting your children be led into this, feeling that regulation and letting them explore and experiment with kind of like what they like, because what they like at each age is going to change. And so what's cool is just exploring that with them at this age and you exploring what you like.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it. Well, that was a great way to sort of bring this episode, I think, to a close. So, to be honest, it seems to me like the kid one is really about being playful and having color and imagery and externalizing a little bit, but also, using the breath, right? It's a little more active in the imagination, which of course makes sense, right? Because play is the language of children. So, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, just tapping into what works for them. And if you have a kid that's like really inquisitive and really imaginative, like utilize that, explore that with them. I love to do a safe container with kids. Really picture this beautiful safe place that you love, having that where they can easily go to that safe place. That's another one of my favorites. But, let them like build it. Let them build whatever they want there. Have whatever supplies they want in that safe place where they feel completely taken care of. If you have a kid that isn't accessing that as much, you can provide that for them. Lead them into that. Like, what would you have there? What would you just helping them to lead into that with the connection and the safety is key. And again, it all goes back to them needing these safe, repairing, connected models and relationships that we're providing them through our nervous systems.
Layne, thank you so much for joining me here today. I know my listeners love listening to you and learning new practices. What I get from today is permission to explore and not think I need to have a degree in breathing or, sometimes it feels like, well, I don't know how to regulate. I don't know what to do with my vagus nerve. What I get from you is just a lot of permission to explore it. And I really appreciate you giving that to me. And then I'm hopeful that my listeners hear that too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's beautifully said. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my passion.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad you're here. So remember, everybody, you can get all of Layne's materials by going to her website.
Sure, lifebalancebu.com. And I also have Instagram. I have some kid stuff on there, but my website is the perfect place to go.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Unmuted Love. You are the most important person in my room at any given time, and your child's too. So I hope you enjoyed our episode. Layne, thank you so much. And I'll invite you back because you're the best thing ever.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Take care. I'll see you in the next episode, everybody.